Hello, thank you for joining me for another walking and talking video. All right, so we've been talking about self-compassion, integrity, and we have to then also squeeze in what I like to call self-trust. So what is self-trust, right? Other people trust me. I say I'm going to turn in a project, or I say I'm going to show up at a party, and I do it, right? So what you say, you execute. For most of us, we're really good at honoring self-trust with people outside of ourselves. But if you're kind of like I was, I would wake up every Monday. This is the week I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm not going to have any treats today. I'm not going to be snacking all afternoon. I'm getting serious. None of this nonsense, Heather. We're going to do this thing. And then guess what? I did all the things I said I wasn't going to do. I didn't follow through on the words I professed to myself. And what happened over time for me personally was I stopped believing myself. I would say things and like in the pit of my gut, I knew I wasn't going to do it. Like I knew I was just saying it so I could say it because I had said it so many times, but in reality, I wasn't going to do the actions. And the problem with that cycle and why this is so destructive, so much more important than weight loss, so much more important than achieving something in your business is because if you don't trust yourself and you're not honestly evaluating your actions based on the self-compassion, your personal integrity, and just a willingness to honestly assess your situation, you're going to continuously peck away at self-trust, erode that, and then when you want to make big change in your life, you're not going to be able to do it, okay? Because think about logically, if every time your friend said, yeah, I'll come help you out, I'll watch the kids, or I'll meet you for dinner, and they kept standing you up time after time after time, wouldn't eventually you probably stop believing them? Wouldn't you probably stop hoping that they were going to do the thing? And would you possibly stop even asking, right? It creates a really negative loop. So in my journey, I said, before we worry about weight loss, we have to worry about self-trust. So I took out a spiral notebook and I actually started doing a self-trust practice, just like people do a positivity journal or a gratitude journal. I actually had a self-trust journal. And what I did was I said, okay, we're not going to say we're going to do things that are a stretch for us, meaning it feels like it would take a certain level of effort. I had to start at the bare bottom of the barrel. I could not put myself in a position where I said I would do something that I even remotely questioned whether or not it would happen, because I had to build self-trust. When your self-trust is depleted, you have to work really hard to bring it back up. So what I would say is, okay, Heather, you're already really good at drinking water. You're already really good at walking. You're already really good at doing a few things. Let's start with the good stuff, the stuff that you're already doing, right? This is that self-compassion, that personal coaching we talked about. So on my sheet of notebook paper, I'd put the date. I'd say, I am going to walk one time around the block with my kids. And I knew almost with 100% certainty that I would and could do that. Why? Because I had already been doing it. So I started with something that was doable. I wrote it down. And then I created an initial column, because what I would do is every day that I did the thing I said, I'd initial off as if I was my own supervisor coming in to check the quality of my work. And what I started to do was line after line after line, see that I was writing things, doing them, and then coming back and evaluating and checking them off. Once I got good with the really easy stuff, after months of doing easy stuff, I'm going to take the walk, I'm going to drink the water, maybe we'll cook dinner, right? Things I felt I could do almost with 100% certainty. Then I started to do things that were a little bit more challenging. Okay, so maybe today we're actually going to try to track just breakfast. Write that down. As soon as you track breakfast, you come initial it off. What happened is my self-trust grew. I went from not believing myself and not trusting myself to knowing I would show up with 100%, because one, there are several components to self-trust. One is the compassion to say that you need to work on it, right? And that you want to achieve big things in your life, and you know you have to rebuild the self-trust. It's the self-honesty to say there's certain things that while at one point I'd really like to be able to do, I might not be disciplined with doing it right now. But I am doing certain actions with almost 100% certainty, and I can state that out loud. I'm going to do these things, and then I can come back and check it off. Once I get down into doing this for a couple months, I can layer in more challenging things, because when I've already established this as a pattern of behavior, right? Once I see that I am taking my words seriously, and if I write it down in this notebook, it's gonna happen, then I'm gonna really evaluate everything I profess to do totally differently. I won't be thinking, what will others think of me? I'll be thinking, what will I think of me? I won't be worried about the image as much as the self-trust. And that's a big one. I had a coaching client one time, she said to me, what does self-trust have to do with weight loss? It has everything to do with weight loss. If you want to achieve anything, go to college, get a new career, lose weight, anything that's of importance, if you don't trust yourself, how do you know you're going to get your lessons done? How do you know you're going to get the business up and running? You've got to believe in yourself. So self-trust to me is essential for any kind of massive change you want to make in your life. And it all starts with really evaluating what you're going to do. Look at your history, look at your past. Don't do what you think you should do, or what others expect you to do, or what society says you should do. Look at your own past and say, what am I capable of with 100% certainty? And I am going to profess that, and I'm going to check myself off, because it matters that my initials are there, not somebody else's. So I hope this helps. And I just want to help as many people as I can. So if you're watching this on YouTube, pretty please, would you like and subscribe? Because the more likes I get, I guess, the way that this works, the more people that are aware of these videos. Also, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, please share them. Other people might really benefit from hearing this. So I truly appreciate everyone that's out there helping spread the message. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.